Hey y'all, I'm back. For those of you guys who are just now getting used to me, I'm Mimi. I'm Mimi Edward. I'm a spiritual healer, teacher, ancestral shaman, and a couple of different things in between. But I'm back, and it's been a hell of a time. I miss you guys. So, let me tell you, if you were at my other page, which is Intuitive Blends, that's my business page. If you don't follow that page, please go follow that page. But I'm here today to just let you guys know where I've been over the course of the last few years. I know you've seen me in and out, popping in and out, sharing things, but not how I typically would get online. And I'm just here to share. Why not? It's the day before Thanksgiving. We vibing, we cooling. I'm here to share about all the things that's been going on and where I'm at right now on my spiritual healing journey, on just my journey, period. And as well as share some of the things that have changed ever since the last time you connected with me as well. So, many of you will know that how back in 2020, I had launched Intuitive Blends, which was a spiritual healing business that created spiritual tools to help you on your healing journey, such as Sacred Sage. Everybody always asks, what's going on with Sacred Sage? Is Sacred Sage coming back? Yes, Sacred Sage is coming back. So yes, I created Sacred Sage as well as doing a number of other things. And then one of the main things that I would do is that I launched my shaman program. So if you may know me from any one of those things that have transpired, but I'm here to share with you what's happened. Because in 2021, I moved to California. I said, you know what? I was really feeling pulled in my spirit that it was time for me to move. And I'm a Brooklyn girl through and through. I said, I think this little penny is I don't know. I wasn't feeling the pandemic. I said, I got to move. But my spirit was like, yeah, you got to move. And we're opening up the doors for you to move to California. So I said, okay. I came out to California and I started staying with a friend of mine who was an old college friend of mine. And we were vibing, we were cooling, and that was back in 2021. And I felt like everything was great. I was working my plan, trying to grow my business, trying to grow Intuitive Blends. But sometimes God has a way of shifting things out the way. So while I was doing that, I was finding that how I couldn't make products anymore. Because the place where I was staying did not feel energetically safe, emotionally safe, spiritually safe. And because I create spiritual healing products, whatever I'm experiencing will be passed on into the products. So that is the big mystery of what happened to Intuitive Blends. So literally, after a while, I had to take all my things from Intuitive Blends and put them in storage. I put my whole entire life in storage, but we're going to get to that. So I was living with this roommate and everything seemed okay. And then after that, it was just like, it wasn't. When you're somebody that has a lot of light in you, that light will make other people feel as if their light is not bright enough. But it has nothing to do with them. It had to do with the fact that they weren't shining their light. So if you're not shining your light, you're automatically going to feel somebody who is shining their light that they're trying to outshine you, and that wasn't it. So after being at that place for quite some time, I realized this is not working for me because the place where I was at, with the roommate that I had at the time, my college friend, it was just like I started being accused of being showy, of doing a lot, of having too much high energy. I was being accused of me being jealous of them, which sheet of material. Seed of material, where? That's the good question. Good question. Where? But, I digress. So I just started experiencing a lot of emotional turmoil that I was trying to process while trying to find a way out of it. And so it was hard. It was hard to create products. It was hard to do things. It was hard to continuously get online and put myself out there when I knew that I was not in a position where I felt emotionally safe. I didn't. And so I tried my best, y'all. I tried my best to continue to get online. I would still make videos. And that's the first time in my life that I can pinpoint that I was going through depression. Because prior to that, I could never pinpoint it because I was always moving. But it's funny that you don't realize what your soul needs, or yeah, you don't realize what your soul needs until you don't have it. And it was one of those experiences where my soul needed to be around people like me, joyful, happy people who are trying to navigate this thing called life, people who are honest with themselves. And that wasn't my experience. And so after being there for about maybe 15 months, after being there for about 15 months, I decided to call it quits and say, I'm not staying here anymore. I said, this doesn't feel good. Like, I left there in shambles. When I tell you in shambles, I felt like my spirit was broken because there was so many conversations that wasn't had. You know how you are living with somebody or staying with somebody and you want to talk about a thing, but the person doesn't want to talk about the thing. And you're trying to talk about the thing, but the person doesn't want to talk about the thing. And you kept mentioning the thing, but the person's like, there's no thing. Gaslighting you. That's what it was. And for somebody like me, who's a natural communicator, I need to talk about the thing, okay? I need to talk about the thing. Because if I don't talk about the thing, it's going to consume me. Wait a goddamn minute. Excuse me. Relax. Get some rest. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Thank you. So that's my dog. So if you guys didn't have a meeting, that's my dog. So he's upset because he's on the opposite side of the baby gate. And he's like, I want to get on this side of the baby gate. Why are you not letting me? Anyway, listen, you're not the main character, so you're going to have to chill out. Thanks. Anyway, so after not being able to talk about the thing, after being gaslit to believe that there was no thing, after just feeling like, damn, what the freak is going on? I said, I gotta leave this. And at the time, because I wasn't in an energetic space to run my business, I didn't have money coming in like I wanted to. I didn't have enough money to go say, I'm gonna rent my own place. I didn't. So literally, I was paying her what I could afford to pay at the time. And she was okay with it. But I said, you know what? I said, I'm not gonna continue to accept being energetically abused, emotionally abused, spiritually abused, just to say I have somewhere to live. I said no. So the opportunity came up at the time in order to go and help my sister launch her womb spa. For those of you guys who know my sister, it's Asha, Miss Asha. For those of you guys who knows my sister, that's her. And so the opportunity came up in order to help her run my womb spa, and I did. I went out to Atlanta and I started helping her put her womb spa together. If you don't know Asha, go and check her out. She's in Grace Yoga Therapy. And I did, and that was the break that I needed, because living in a place that is emotionally draining, physically draining, spiritually draining is gonna drain you, period. Point blank period. It's just gonna drain you, and you're not going to feel the energy, the zeal to get up and do what you have to do each and every day. And so I went and stayed with my sister, and I believe that was the first time in my life that I was actually healing, where I wasn't doing anything for anyone else. I wasn't checking for anyone else. I wasn't trying to figure out what anybody else had going on, but I was just doing it for me. Hey Cecil, how are you? Hey guys, thanks for joining. And so that was the first time that I was actually doing that, and it felt good. It felt good to just be in a space where I didn't have to worry about what the next thing was, and I didn't have to worry about anybody else but myself. So I left California in 2022, in the summer of 2022. I bought a ticket because with my sister, I wasn't supposed to stay there for long. I was just going to stay with her, help her launch her business, and then I was going to head off to Bali and figure out what the next step in the plan was. But God had other plans. God said, nope, you're going to help her put together this business, help her do all this stuff. And it was laborious. You know, Asha, it was laborious. It was, but I did it. And it was the first time that I can relax my shoulders. And so after staying with her for 11 months, my entire time there, my spirit kept saying, you got to go back to California. You got to go back to California. I don't care what you say. Yes, you're doing a great job here, but you're going to have to go back to California. So my entire time there was to prepare my spirit, prepare my energy back to go back to California. And that's all I kept feeling like, I want to go back. But I didn't have a way back. As I told you, all my shit was in storage. I put all of my things in storage just for me to be able to do what I have to do to get back there. And so I was paying storage every month. And every month, when I tell you, I was fucking hustling to pay the storage. Every single month, I was hustling my ass off to make sure that I didn't lose my entire business. Like, my entire business was in storage. And if anybody knows anything about Intuitive Blends, we had that thing on stock. We had Intuitive Blends stock. And so I was so sad because I couldn't make the products that I know you guys love so much. And it was hurtful for me because I'm like, dang, I just need a place where I feel safe enough to make my products and be able to ship it out to people who love it so much. And so my entire time in Georgia, I was hustling, making things happen, doing side jobs, and like I went back to my marketing roots, which I never wanted to do. But I did. I went back to my marketing roots just so that I can begin to sell my products again. And I did. Slowly but surely, doors started opening, things started moving, and I felt safe again to put my things out there. So in November of 2022, I said, you know what? I'm going to move back to California. And I just started making a plan to do so. So as I was making a plan to move back to California, George just started opening. So I was telling me and my sister, man, when I tell you, I had so many nights in my altar talking to my spirit guides. I had so many nights connecting with the spirits. So many nights just getting to know myself and healing myself so that I could bring the gift that I know that I have within me back out into the community and serve. And through everything that I experienced, I just started doing things one step at a time. So in May of 2023, I said, okay, I'm moving back. I called up somebody who was my friend at the time, and I said, hey, I'm coming back, and right now I don't have a place to stay. And so, are you willing to allow me to stay with you while I support you in whatever way that I can, help you pay your rent, whatever the case is? And she said, sure, no problem. At the time, she had a spare bedroom in her house. She was like, sure, no problem. I can help you do that. And that was the breakthrough I needed, just to say, okay, at least I'm back on the soil, back in California. I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm back on the soil, so I'm Gucci. And I kid you not, I got there May 22nd or something like that, May 20th last year, 2023. And from the time I got there, I put my foot to the ground. First of all, it was my birthday week. So I said, I'm going to celebrate my birthday. After I celebrate my birthday, I'm just going to start making products. I'm going to start doing the things I like to do again. I went out to my storage. I got some products from storage. And I came back to California with a plan. Like, I'm going to make this shit shake for real. And so said, so done. So many of you guys saw me on my trip in Catalina for my birthday. And that was cool. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like on the boat. It felt so amazing. Many people saw me in Catalina. However, even though I was there in Catalina, I was staying at a friend's house. I didn't have my own place. I just had enough to celebrate me and my birthday because I said, I'm going to take this time for me. I'm going to take this time to celebrate me, to support me, to give me what I want and not do for others. And so I did that. And let me tell you, when you step out to celebrate you, many people are not going to be excited about that. So the friend that I was staying with at the time, maybe 2 days after coming back from my birthday trip, she came to me and said, hey, you're going to have to leave my house. And I was just like, what? I thought it was a joke. Like, I literally just got there like 3 or 4 days before. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I think I was there 6 days in total. She was like, yeah, you're going to have to leave. She was like, since you've been here, I feel like the energy is off. I think you walk with the spirit of the devil in you. And sis was just going through a mental episode, I'm convinced. And so she just started saying these random things. She said, I'm hearing voices. And when you walk with power, like, your energy will magnify things. So whatever somebody is doing or whatever somebody is experiencing, if it's not positive, it's going to magnify that. Or if it is positive, it's going to magnify that. And I've always known that that's my energy. So she started saying that she started feeling mental health, let's just say that. She started feeling mental health symptoms and hearing voices. She said she heard the rats talking in the trash. all kinds of stuff. I said, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to go. And so she literally said, I give you it was 24 hours to leave. And that was Memorial Day weekend. And I said, you have got to be kidding me. So this is 2023. Memorial Day weekend, that's the end of May, right? And I was bawling, crying, God, why would you bring me back here? Just to have me struggling and have me in the same position. And I just couldn't see it. I was just like, nah, this shit is wild. Something got to give. And needless to say, I never talked to this girl. I stopped talking to this woman. But it was hard. It was hard because sometimes when you get the message, and you following the message, and you think the plan is going to be, smooth, easy peasy, right? No, it's not. Never it is. If it's too easy, chances are there's something going on. But it just wasn't. And so I said, okay. So I had a girlfriend. Who I knew from childhood, who I invited, who had come out to move to California as well the year prior. So I reached out to her and asked if I could stay for 30 days. While I figure out my life, because guys, my life was a fucking shit show, and I could take accountability and say, I was doing a lot of things. I was traveling the world. I was doing so much, but I didn't have a foundation. With the exception of going back home to my parents' house, which was always an option for me. So don't get it twisted. I always had a place to go, but that's not where I wanted to go, and that's not where my soul needed to be. And so I was just like, okay, I just need 30 days to figure out my plan. 30 days. And so this friend said, hey, yep, sure, no problem. You can come stay with me for 30 days. And so at the time, she had her own financial issues she was going through. And so we had agreed on a certain amount. And so I paid her that amount. But, even to get the money to pay her that amount, that's a whole nother story, but I'll get to that as well. So I immediately left the friend's house where I was staying at in Long Beach, and I went to my other friend's house in Long Beach. And when I tell you, I felt so broken and defeated because I had only been back in California for 6 days. And within those 6 days, I had the best time of my life for my birthday. Best time. And to come back and be like, yep, you gotta go. And it was just like, okay. So I said, Spirit, I'm just asking for a breakthrough. And at the time, I started getting clients again. I started getting spiritual healing clients again. So things started moving, and I started helping out my friend or whatever as I was staying there. But as I was staying there, another thing that has been paramount and has been continuous in my life is that I started to feel some kind of resentment. I started to feel though my energy is big and loud and all that, but it was too much for that space. This particular person, she started going through her own situation, her own mental health stuff. She started experiencing her own stuff. And I said, I'm gonna take a step back because I needed to use the bathroom and the doors would be locked on me. And it was just like, girl, I need to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. Don't you? Even if you don't, that's cool. But I need to use the bathroom. And something as simple as that, realizing that not everybody can be courteous. Even though they allow you to stay, that doesn't mean that they care about you. And that was a hard pill to swallow, especially because we know each other, 30 years, more than that. And anyway, I digress. But while staying with her, I started to just see the pattern. Everywhere that I was going that was not my own, I was having the most challenging time there. And all because of who I am. All because of the energy that I carry. And I had to realize that it wasn't the people. The people were just having their own experience in their own world, whether they had mental health problems, whether they were experiencing different episodes, that they were having their own problems. But my presence in their space magnified those problems. So I had to realize the answer is, Mimi, you got to take care of you. You got to do for you. And that's when, and so after some of the most miserable nights I have ever experienced, just being on edge and anxious, because when somebody's going through mental health stuff, you don't know how they're going to be. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know. So because you don't know, you're have high anxiety. I never thought I was somebody with anxiety, but man, the anxiety I developed being around this kind of situations, it wasn't good. So I was restless nights. Every day I was getting up, grinding. Every day I was getting up, going and hitting the pavement, getting more clients, posting stuff online, like just moving. I was working so hard just to make ends meet, just so I can get my ass out of there. And the only way I thought, okay, I have to get out of here was through getting out, through conventional ways. You save up money, move out, whatever. And I clearly remember moving. I remember one morning feeling so dejected, okay, like I think she had said, okay, the next month is coming up. What's your plan? And blah blah blah, and tried to gaslight me and tell me that the time she told me I could stay was not the time that I could stay. Whatever. I was just like, I gotta go. And I remember walking down the street saying, Spirit, I have to get out of here. I need you to give me a plan. And I said, I don't even care if I go to the shelter. And at the time, I'm like, that was just something I threw out there. Not even saying, because I've never been to the shelter in my life. I lived with both my mom and dad, and they provided a substantial lifestyle. I've never been without. So it was just like something that I just said. But I realized that I would have rather gone to the shelter than let somebody continue to try to emotionally abuse me, emotionally manipulate me, or make me think that what I'm feeling and seeing is not what it is. And so said, so done. I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And I made a decision. I called around to different shelters. I remember crying the night before in the bathtub. Crying so much. Like, I cannot believe I'm going to freaking go to the shelter. I cannot believe. Because I didn't know what it was going to look like. For me, that was like a dark abyss. Because what? I didn't know any of this. Like, I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do, Spirit? Like, what am I going to do? And slowly but surely, I started to just kind of step by step creating this plan. And next day, like I packed up all my stuff. I took the stuff that I had gotten out of storage, put it back into storage, and was like, I got to get out of here. And I woke up early morning one day and got all my stuff and caught the bus to the shelter. And where I am now in Huntington Beach. And guys, that was end of June 2023. So when I tell you the last couple of years have been a cycle of getting back to me, it truly has been. It truly has been. And so after making that decision, I had to fight like hell to get into the shelter as well. So now every day I'm calling them. I'm like, hey, so I get there. They're like, we don't have no beds. I said, that's not enough. I said, I'm not staying on the street. That's not happening. I'm not going to stay on the street and get raped, sodomized, or whatever. I said, I need to get into here. And that's how I wound up like getting into like a mental facility that like the social worker was like, hey, are you experiencing depression, anxiety? I said, what do you think? What if I don't have a home? I'm like, I'm being threatened to be on the street. What do you think? And so that's when I was able to be checked into like a psychiatric facility. And I kid you not, when I went into the mental facility for anxiety and depression, that was one of the most freeing times in my life. Because once again, I didn't have to think about anybody but myself. I didn't have to think about anybody. Like literally anything I wanted, any foods I wanted, they went out and got it for me. And I felt so at peace going through all of this just to say, I'm no longer taking care of anybody. I'm only focusing on me. And so that was the end of June 2023. And I kid you not, I was in that facility for about a day and a half. And then I was transferred to another facility where they had people who were in substance abuse. And man, when I tell you that I saw some things. Because I was just like, wow. It was like prior to this, I know that there are people who live a certain way, but I just never had access to those people, but I saw everything. So after staying in that facility for another 2 days, I finally got a bed into the shelter in my city, Huntington Beach, on July 4th, 2023. And that's when I moved in. And I think that's really significant for me because that's the Independence Day. That was my Independence Day where I'm stepping out on my own to do things for me. So for me, July 4th means a lot more because that was when I stepped out on my own to say I'm doing everything for me and moved into the shelter. But when I tell you, living in the shelter was not easy. It wasn't. But from the moment I got in, I was locked in. I said, listen, You got one plan: find a job, get an apartment. Find a job, get an apartment. I didn't care which way the wind was blowing. That was my only plan. Being there about a week and a half, I was able to get a job. After I was able to get a job, I worked at the job for like 3 days, and they were like, "Yeah, your personality is too strong for me." You know, being from New York, coming to California, it can be challenging to work in these kind of environments because they're not as direct or transparent or authentic as I like to. Now, I can't say all of them, but here where I live in Southern California, people are not as direct, open, and transparent and authentic as we are in New York. So I would say things at the job like, yeah, I'm not doing that. No, that wasn't in the job description. No. Where that wasn't something that was widely accepted. And I had to accept that. So after 3 days, they were like, yeah, girl, it's clipped for you, okay? You're doing a lot. And I said, okay, whatever. And I remember being so dejected because I was like, what the freak? I'm trying my best, God. I'm trying my best to just find a job, get a place, all this. And it feels like every door is being closed. But really, it wasn't that. It was that I was aligning with the place that was ready to receive me. That's what it was. Because at the time I couldn't see it. I just wanted a job. But no, I'm not somebody that could work any job. Like, no, I'm just not that person. I needed a place that can hold space for the fullness of me and not just the yeah. So I was there for a short time. But being in the shelter was hard because I really had to. I had 161 roommates. So every night I had to listen to 161 people curse each other out, fight, go through all this stuff. It was like an open floor plan kind of setting, even though they had little walls to separate men, women, and different sexual orientation like then they. But that was, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Listen, many times where I almost went to blows, like yeah, y'all ain't about to sun me in here, especially you know, people that don't look like me, okay? And I live in Orange County, which is predominantly people that don't look like me, people of the envelope complexion, and so it was really it was a trying time. But let me tell you, I just locked in. When I tell you I locked in, I said, I'm going to get out of this place by any means necessary. And I started looking for a job, looking. And I never forget, I was having a conversation with one of my bunk mates whose bed was a couple beds away from me. And I said, and she was telling me about her job and she'd been working there for 20 years and blah, 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 blah. And she was telling me all these things about this company. And I said, are they hiring? And she said, yeah, sure, whatever. Here's the number to the person. I called them. I reached out. And within a day or two, I had an interview. After that, within a week, I was doing orientation. And then after that, within like, I think a week or so, a couple of days after the orientation, I was hired to work at my job where I work now. But the person who had gotten me the interview, God bless her soul, her name was Nancy. I pray she's still alive because she was definitely an addict. She was a drug addict. She was a alcoholic, and she never really made it out of that. And I really pray that she's still alive, and I wish her the best. But she's the one that opened the door for me to get here. So why am I telling you guys all of this? Because I want you guys to know the real rap raw. This shit, once you step out into making the decision to say, I'm going to do this, expect life to throw every curveball that exists out towards you. And it's just as simple as that. So I started working my job. I had to get up every morning at 4 a.m. in order to beat the meth users and the drug addicts from overdosing in the bathroom so that I can take a shower. And there was a shuttle that left at 6 to get you off the property. So with the shelter, you could only use the shuttle to get on and off the property. So I had to be dressed and everything to leave for the shuttle by 6. And have the shuttle drop me, not near my job, but drop me off at the beach, close to the beach, where I can walk and catch the bus a few stops that would drop me about a mile away from my job and walk that mile every day. So I didn't start work at 9. I was at the job by like 7:15, 7:20. And I literally would just sit in the Starbucks across the street until it was time to go to work. Nobody knew at the job that I was in a shelter. Nobody knew that that's where I was spending my days and nights. But I did it. Because all I saw was a way out. It didn't matter to me what my situation was. I couldn't look at my situation. I couldn't look at... That's why y'all didn't even know I was in the shelter for real. Because I couldn't look at my situation. For me, it was, I'm going through this thing right here. And I'm going to get out of it by any means necessary. So I'm going to do my absolute very best. So it wasn't even their business for me to tell them at the job. Like, for what? What are they going to do? I didn't need to be saved. Too many times I was expecting somebody to come and save me or support me. I didn't need that. I needed to realize that I was me. I was my only savior. I was the one that was going to come and save and support me. And so said, so done. And I worked that job every single day. I got up, went to work every single day. Never missed a day, never took any time off. Just got up, work, did the thing every single day. Until March came and I was able to get my own apartment. My own 2-bedroom apartment that I had written about the year before, saying I'm going to have a 2-bedroom apartment, blocks from the beach. Where I live in my 2-bedroom home, blocks from the beach. And yeah. So now with all of that, I am now in a space that I can relaunch my spiritual healing products. Because I wasn't there before. I didn't have the space energetically, physically, spiritually to launch my products because I was down bad, bro. I was not in a good space and I didn't want to give you guys anything. I didn't want to give you guys anything that wasn't of the highest good for me. Anything that wasn't from the highest good of me. And I didn't want to give you anything that didn't represent my highest form and elevation. And for many of you have reached out about Sacred Sage. Sacred Sage is going to be launching, is going to be dropping tomorrow, noon, my time, Pacific Standard Time. And it's going to go to my email list first. I'm making 50 bottles. The first batch is going to be going out December 15th. So if you're one of the people that have been reaching out, asking for Sacred Sage, I'm here. Come check me out. So first 50 products going to be going out December 15th. So I love you guys. And I want to tell you thank you. And if you're on my email list, expect the email that by tomorrow at noon is going to drop. And you're going to get an email with 20% off. And I am back. I'm back like I never left, okay? And I'm just making it happen. So I'm excited to take you on this journey with me, excited to take you where I'm going. I'm just excited because I know that everything is going to change and be open and better and amazing from now moving forward. I love you all. Take care. Feel free to reach out to me and share your DMs with me and stuff like that. Love y'all. Bye.